Well, happy Wednesday. I'm meteorologist Justin Gehrts, and thanks for joining us here on the 10 Weather Impact Show.
And I'm meteorologist Aaron White, and it's a soggy day out there.
Yes,
we
it
got
is.
quite a bit of rain. Of course, we had some storms last night. Watching the storms, they got pretty intense. Chris Tomer and I were tracking those storms here on 10 TV streaming as we were watching the storms that had severe thunderstorm warnings, produced some wind damage in some areas in around Marion. I saw there was a report of a tree down, some power lines, and also western parts of Ohio. And just so much rain.
Yeah, about an inch and a half, actually more than an inch and a half officially at Columbus Columbus John Glenn International. There we go.
Some pretty good rain.
And
then we had the storm this morning too.
Yeah, no, it was funny because you get up at 6:45, and for whatever reason I checked the radar. I'm like, what is that thing coming in? So I don't have to water the flowers for a few days, I'm thinking. So
yeah, I don't think anyone has to water for a while.
Yeah, no, it's a real soaker, and just about everybody has gotten at least a half inch over the past day, but numerous spots over an inch. So it's been a fair bit of rain here, and there's more coming on Friday as well.
I was going to say, we got a lot more rain coming Friday. We still even have some rain today.
Yes, indeed, and we still have that weather impact alert for the rest of the day. I've decided that we did have that downpour early today. We are going to see those occasional rain showers continue for the rest of the day. That does include the afternoon commute. Now, it's not going to be as heavy as what we had this morning. However, do keep in mind that we can get slowdowns from any amount of rain, honestly. Plus, we have some outdoor events going on coming up this evening, so it'll likely affect those as well. Here's a check of the radar as of 2 o'clock, and there we do see those areas of rain around the area. We are seeing some of the steadier stuff now moving into western Ohio. This is a loop over the past hour as we do see around the Dayton area, Springfield, some of those darker greens making their way east. As far as any thunderstorm activity, that'll be confined to far southern Ohio. So some good news there is that at least this is just some general rain. Come into the central part of the state here as again you see out to the west here, out towards Springfield. We're seeing some of that steadier, those darker greens coming our way. So going to be pretty wet this afternoon, and as we widen out that view some, this extends back into southern Indiana, sliding off toward the east here. I would say as we get further into the evening, the farther south you are is going to have the more likelihood of seeing that steadier rain. Farther north, just some general lingering showers here or there. This is all thanks to a cold front, and it has really knocked our temperatures back quite a bit. As of 2 o'clock, we're 26 degrees cooler in Columbus now than at this time yesterday. Off in the north there, as much as 30 degrees colder. That means we have temperatures in the 50s in the north. We're now at 62 in Columbus. We've actually been losing ground today. Meanwhile, check out south of the front, Portsmouth, 80 degrees. So we have a nearly 30-degree spread on this map. So quite a powerful cold front coming through. You can now see it cutting across the southern part of our area where you still have some lingering 70s down toward Logan, McConnellsville, Athens. However, once that front passes, those temperatures get knocked back a fair bit into the 60s and even some 50s. We're still at 52 in Mansfield and Bucyrus. A couple hours ago, we had similar temperatures, so we've been pretty much stuck in a lot of spots, if not, again, falling a little bit as well. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast as we do see those areas of rain continuing into the afternoon and evening. Here's 5 p.m. Plan for some areas of rain to be falling for that afternoon drive home. Early part of the night, those areas of rain wrap up. We'll probably still see some clouds to start the day on Thursday. However, as we get into the afternoon, at the latest, I would imagine, we should see some more sunshine breaking through. So overall, tomorrow's a decent-looking day. A little cool-ish, but really it could be worse, all things considered. We're also going to have comfortable dew points. They're going to be in the 50s for tomorrow, which is pretty nice. However, the mugginess does return a bit this weekend and early next week, with dew points rising back into the 60s, especially Saturday onward. That's also going to help fuel our rain that's coming up on Friday, especially after lunchtime. Evening and Friday night is when the majority of this rain falls. Looks like a lot of us are going to be getting at least an inch of rain from that. Pretty good soaker is coming up for us. All right, so for the rest of the day, periods of rain, 68 is kind of an average, but again, as I showed you, we've been losing some ground here over the past couple of hours with that north wind around 5 to 15. 10 weather impact alert is in effect for the rest of the day for those periods of rain. Tomorrow, though, no worries. Mostly sunny skies, 49 in the morning, 71 in the afternoon. Some rain becomes likely gradually through the day on Friday with highs around 69. Warm front lifts north, gets our temperatures into the upper 70s to around 80 this weekend and early next week. However, it also brings with it occasional shower and storm chances for the holiday weekend. Looks like the best chance is going to be on Saturday, still some around on Sunday, then lower chances as we get toward Monday and Tuesday of next week. However, the opportunity is still there as some weak disturbances kind of ride along the region, but really it is looking like Friday and Saturday have the best chances of seeing some rain, in addition to, of course, what we have out there today at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we already had a lot of rain in the last 24 to 36 hours. We got the dry day Thursday, and we'll be interesting to see how much rain we end up getting here Friday, and of course with those storm chances next week. And hopefully don't have to worry about severe weather, but as you mentioned, those dew points are on the rise back to the 60s at least. So anytime we have a lot more humidity and warm temperatures, of course, it doesn't take a lot to get a couple strong storms.
It really doesn't. And as we saw last night, even those borderline situations where they're barely 50 or 60 miles an hour, it's enough to cause some tree damage. And we had power outages last night and this morning around the state. So it doesn't take anything particularly intense to still cause us some pretty significant inconveniences or issues across the area.
Yeah, so we'll be watching here as we continue on through the forecast. But as we turn from the forecast to talking more about some strong storms that already moved through earlier this morning, take a look at this video from our own Angela Ann. She took this as the storms were rolling through the New Albany area earlier this morning. Of course, you can see the ponding on the road there and just on the deck, and just a lot of torrential rainfall. I mean, that storm hit pretty hard and really brought us some wind and some heavy rainfall. And now part of the reason why we are keeping that 10 weather impact alert here in place for the rain this evening is, of course, the Bruno Mars concert coming here to Columbus tonight as his romantic tour looks to pack out the shoe.
Yeah, the gates open at 5 o'clock and the concert kicks off at 7. Here's what you need to know if you plan to go. So even if you plan to be in and around the campus area, honestly, officials are warned to expect massive traffic delays. Parking lots immediately around the stadium open at 3 o'clock. Several lots like West Stadium and Tuttle East will be restricted for concert parking.
And don't forget, the stadium's strict no bag policy is in effect. Only diaper bags, medical bags, and tiny clutches are allowed inside. And with more on the traffic impacts expected tonight, here's 10 TV traffic anchor Brianna Elbizu.
Well, you can definitely expect a lot of traffic to be out there outside of Ohio Stadium. We are seeing road closures that kicked off at 4 o'clock this afternoon. As you can see, a part of it includes a road closure on that Woody Hayes Drive portion between Cannon and Tuttle Park Place, just outside of the stadium. Also, speaking of Tuttle Park Place, you also have that portion closed between Lane Avenue and Woody Hayes Drive as well. Now, we also have a really important mention we have to talk about here. We could see a possible closure on 315. It's that northbound exit to Medical Center Drive, and it really just depends on how bad or good the traffic is. Also expect delays for those working that second shift around campus. Leave early today if you can from campus, because a lot of people are going to be heading downtown. Also, that third shift, leave and really head to campus early to avoid some of the congestion and traffic as people leave the concert later tonight. When it comes to parking, the best options for you with no permit required includes that West Campus lot. The shuttles will be provided for you that will take you to the bus transit hub, and then from there you do have to walk over towards that stadium. Also, notice here lots and garages are still available near that High Street spot. Also, lastly, before we go, we got to talk about those bus services that will be impacted for this concert. As you can see, the main campus buses will be suspended out there once again starting at 4 p.m. lasting for really the rest of the night. Other shuttles will be available for you, but they will have delays, so just expect it out there, but also have fun. Back to you.
And you may remember we told you earlier this year that tonight's concert caused a scheduling conflict with Hilliard-Darby High School's graduation.
Yeah, they were supposed to have their graduation tonight, but because of the concert, they actually had it yesterday instead. Get a look at your screen. This is a video from the commencement ceremony last night. But here's the thing about the story. The class president had reached out to Bruno Mars on social media several times to try and get the superstar to play at their graduation.
Yeah, that didn't happen, but Bruno did respond by sending out an ice cream truck.
I'm walking outside, I almost teared up a second because it's super rewarding because I spent a lot of time. It gives our class something to remember, and it's not gonna be we just graduated. It'll be a story to tell when we're older. It'll just be something that we can always look back on and be proud of.
Ice cream truck was very helpful for yesterday's weather. And turning now to the ongoing wildfire outbreak across the West and the flames that are still burning this afternoon across California.
Yeah, actually, I take a look at this. This is the Sandy fire continued to rage in Simi Valley, California. This was Tuesday evening. The blaze erupted Monday in windy conditions and has burned almost 1,700 acres with only 5% containment. Mandatory evacuations remained in effect and at least one home was destroyed. Roughly 870 personnel were involved in the firefight. And in Riverside County, California, a pair of wildfires burning in Southern California has residents trying to do what they can to protect their homes.
Yeah, take a look at the residents in one neighborhood, a team effort to fill buckets of water and wet the ground near their homes in hopes of stopping the advancing flames. This is part of the Bane fire that sparked Tuesday morning. Authorities said evening winds pushed the flames near the city of Riverside.
And fire officials say progress has been made on containment lines. Another blaze in the region is the Verona fire, which started Tuesday during the lunch hour.
Yeah, quite a thing there. And with more on this outbreak of wildfires in Southern California, here's CBS News' Matt Gutman.
New wildfires popping up in Southern California are spreading dangerously close to homes in Riverside County, east of Los Angeles. And overnight, towering flames and wind sent those embers flying dozens of yards in the air.
We've lived in this house right here on the corner for 36 years now. We've never had anything come this close.
It's called the Bane fire. Firefighters on the ground battling it while helicopters dump water over the fire, which has now burned more than 1,300 acres. About 40 miles south, another wildfire jumped containment lines, burning 600 acres. And the Sandy fire made a late run Tuesday. It's burned about 1,700 acres. Wow. In Simi Valley, west of LA, we watched a furious air assault.
You can hear that siren. There is a helicopter going through that cloud of smoke, flying just off the deck, dumping water. We can't see it.
But the fire kept surging.
You can feel the heat. This entire neighborhood is just smothered with smoke right now. You can see that C-130 lumbering low, dropping that red Phos-Chek all over, trying to stop that fire from moving forward. And I want to show you what it's threatening. These homes where there are firefighters. And right here, we're about to get rained on with Phos-Chek. The wind carrying it over towards us.
After we watched firefighters save Cheryl Robinson Collins' home on Monday, we went back Tuesday to check in.
It was just like that constantly, one after another, just nonstop, and you did feel like a war zone.
More than 43,000 people have been ordered to evacuate. Fire Captain Phil Coursey says that on this street in Simi Valley, engines are stationed at roughly every other house.
You can see it just on the other side here where those other firefighters are.
Yeah, definitely. We're concerned this little drainage right here that it's going to come back up towards where we're at. We're just focusing on if anything catches in the yards or catches in the houses.
There are about 1,000 firefighters in Southern California battling these fires, and they're going to have to contend with spot fires like this. Once the wind picks up again later today, this could turn into something much larger. Another issue across Southern California is the smoke and air quality. Millions of people right now are under air quality warnings, and you can smell this smoke from over 50 miles away. Matt Gutman, CBS News, Simi Valley, California.
And the fires aren't limited to California. They've been raging across parts of the southeast out towards Texas as well.
Yeah, we have a reporter on one family who lost their home in Canyon, Texas.
Over 34,000 acres have burned since the Hungate fire started outside of Canyon. The Cochran family's home was directly impacted by the fire. Eli Cochran had just finished his semester at the University of Kansas when his parents called to inform him of the fire. He shared his reaction when he first returned to assess the damage.
It doesn't feel real, and still even being here, like this is just, it seems like it's out of a movie, like these fires and stuff seem very abstract until it happens to you, and then you get here and it's, you kind of realize like, I'll never be able to sit in my room again, or I'll never be able to walk through my front door again. Things like that, it's just very, it's just weird.
While he's discouraged by the loss of many personal items, Eli says he has gained a new perspective from everything that has happened over the past few days.
I feel more disconnected from things, I guess. Like, it just seems like now that I don't have, a lot of the memories from high school, and a lot of my, furniture and my things, it just seems like even though those things are gone, they're still in my memory.
Eli's father Wilson and his wife Lori were in Austin when the fire took place. He says he's just grateful the family still has each other and that their animals were unharmed as they were taken to a separate property before they went out of town.
I've never gone through anything like this before. I'm retired from the Navy. I've been through combat, all of that, and this was something, I've never had everything taken from you at one time. The good news is that my family's okay, my animals are okay, and it kind of puts you at it recenters you and makes you realize just what's important in life.
Dylan Lemus, News Channel 10.
All right, finally today, let's check out some new video into 10 TV. We're going to stay with the wildfires. First, check this one out. One of several wildfires burning Tuesday in Southern California, the Verona fire had charred 175 acres with no containment, according to the latest update from the California Department of Forestry and Fire Prevention. But it also produced this striking scene.
Yeah, I mean, always dramatic to see this. You see this periodically with fires when you get just the intense heat allowing for these whirlwinds. And this video posted by the CAL FIRE Riverside County Fire on X actually showed what appeared to be this smoke-nado, just whirling wind of smoke and other debris in and around the Verona fire there in Riverside County, California.
Yeah, used to seeing that, like you mentioned, when there's a big fire going on with the intense heat. So I was curious to see it with such a small fire and no flames actually visible from that vantage point. It got up pretty tall.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, there's just so much intense heat with that, and likely the fire nearby. And we've seen this other times. I know we've had this on the show with the Kilauea volcano, where you have all that lava, and it creates just so much intense heat between, of course, the lava and the outside air that actually creates whirlwinds inside the volcano. Similar situation here with intense heat from the fires nearby, creating that whirlwind.
Yeah, and finally today, a family of owls invaded an apartment balcony in Waco, Texas, and took up residency for months. Take a look. The homeowner says it all started with one great horned owl perched on the balcony, calling out to its mating partner. Months later, it laid 4 eggs in a raised garden bed to create an entire family.
And because the birds are federally protected, they were there just to stay. Violating the Migratory Bird Treaty Act can cost you anywhere from $5,000 to $250,000 in fines or even some jail time. An owl nest can only be moved if it's inactive with no birds or eggs in it. And after an owl fell from the nest, the family was moved to a local animal rehab facility.
My 8-year-old has a recent joke about owls. Yeah, they say that you sound like an owl.
I'm not doing it.
And you're supposed to say who.
No, yeah, yep, I've seen those videos. I'm like, nope, not. I thought you were trying to get me to do it. I'm like, nope, not happening.
Yes, indeed. All right, well, there's my dumb joke for today.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've seen the videos where, it actually gets some people. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good.
She wasn't very
Walk
happy
around the
because we were like, what? And she would get upset because, of course, she knows what the punchline is supposed to be. But, yeah.
It's the wrong question to ask.
I suppose so. Yeah, and now the question everybody's been asking us is about the rain and when it's going to be getting out of here and what to expect over the coming days.
Yep, and I know a lot of people are heading out for the Bruno Mars concert later on. Some people are asking about, taking ponchos out with them, definitely having just some things to help you stay dry, because as you can see here on the radar picture, we have rain showers right now, and looking back towards the west around London and even further out back towards areas around Dayton, we're starting to see some more areas where you see that darker green and even spots of yellow showing up. So a little bit more moderate rain building in from the west, and hopefully a lot of this will clear out as we get closer to the start of the concert, of course, later on this evening after about 7 p.m.
We also have a crew match coming up this evening as well.
Yeah.
So a couple of things going on, and we've had baseball this afternoon. It's been a little wet out there, I'm afraid.
Yeah, so not ideal here on a Wednesday to, do anything outside. But of course, if you have an umbrella, poncho, ways to stay dry, it's not gonna be overly bad. We're not talking about any severe weather.
Yeah.
I don't see any lightning showing up there.
No, nothing here with this. In fact, the only lightning has been down in northern Kentucky, and I don't expect that to change. So if there's any good news with this, that there isn't any storminess necessarily, it's just kind of one of those blah sort of situations, which, I mean, it's not great, but you can handle it with the poncho, the rain jacket, things like that. And it's going to be cool this evening as well as temperatures fall through the 50s, so do bear that in mind. It's a far cry from the warmth that we had yesterday and the day before.
Yeah, so I know not ideal for all the events that are happening here today, but at least we don't have to worry about anything necessarily getting canceled because of lightning or severe weather. Just got to deal with some downpours downpours here as we go through the rest of today.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so that'll do it for us here on the 10 Weather Impact Show. Coming up later on this afternoon, Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer is in with the latest forecast as we're tracking more rain, looking ahead to our Friday and Saturday.
Yes, in the meantime, have a good afternoon.